Hi, I'm Gerard Estella. I'm the artisan in residence here at Brucemore. I effectively run the Artisan Studio. My background is really just getting to work with really amazing people, some which you will know by household name, some you'll never know. Both sides of the glass, if you would, the artists as well as the people working behind that glass to make it happen. And I hope that some of that experience and some of that knowledge is of benefit to our audiences and to those that we're trying to serve. The Artisan Studio started approximately in 2018. It's an offshoot of the Artisan in Residence program at Brucemore. And realistically, I think we're in about between our third and fourth class of artists, if you consider a class every year, like a seasonal class. The reality of what I get to do is that I get to work with artists that I feel are interesting, have something to say. I might disagree with what they have to say, but they say it in a way that catches my attention. How do we find these artists? That's a question that's asked a lot. How do you become a member of the Artisan Studio? That's a question that's asked a lot. And the reality is everything that you do is an audition. We are no different than what a recording label used to do in the mid-70s. The difference is the talent scouts happen to be in our community. And they might say, hey, did you see this show? There's somebody that's doing something. You know what? I just heard this spoken word artist. I just saw this gallery opening. And that filters down. And we go out and we find it. And we see who they are, what they are. We don't make judgments about their art, but we find out what is it they're trying to do, who are they trying to become? Because that's really what we're here to do. We're here to assist the underserved artists. So on a yearly basis, the studio has grown into dealing with 3 or 4 different artists. We put together about 5 to 8 different original pieces which are performed here on Brucemore grounds. I'm either the music director or the producer. In some cases, my colleagues are now taking some of that over, thankfully, for all the audiences, but I've had the pleasure of being affiliated with Brucemore for 20 years. I feel that one of the things that we've truly sort of tapped into is the history of Brucemore, not just Brucemore, the organization that is part of the National Trust, but Brucemore, the place. More importantly, Brucemore, the place that a family built and that another family lived in. There was a lot of discussion in those earlier years of the residency about what the mission of Brucemore is and how that correlates to the history of the families that built it, that lived here, that grew here. They were fundamental in the development and the endowment, if you would, of a lot of the cultural iconic organizations that we now get to have here in Cedar Rapids. So the history of the families, as well as Brucemore's history of consistently being engaging in the arts, was something that we went, how do we build that without it being about shows? How do we build it with being about people? More importantly, artists. So whether or not it was Grant Wood, who was given commissions here before he became Grant Wood, all of the other artisans and artists, the carpenters, the carvers, the painters, the you name it, that were brought into Iowa, that were brought into Cedar Rapids or grown up and given an opportunity by the families, we took that as a starting point. And so we enlarged the mission of the residency to become a studio. And what that means is it's now organizationally a place to serve the underserved artists. The way we do that is we provide access to talent, to experience, to thought, to funding, to opportunities. This is access that every artist who wants to make a career of their art fundamentally needs, specifically at that crux of making the decision, can I do this? So Brucemore's Artisan Studio is a way to help people figure that out and a way for us as a community to not just be stagnant in what has been done, but looking forward towards the future of what will be done. Our real hope is that everybody we assist, nobody knows right now, but at some point they will. When you're trying to answer the question, what should I do this week? What should I do this weekend? What's something different? I think that you should look at what Brucemore offers. In the Artisan Studio series, in 3 different nights within 1 month's worth of time, from September 15th to October 17th, you can go see a magic show professionally put together. You can see the debut of a new album by an up-and-coming singer-songwriter. And you can have the film debut of 8 short films which are taking a poet and allowing visualists to come to light. That isn't something you get to do every day. But at Brucemore, you have an opportunity to see it for the cost of maybe a couple of cups of Starbucks coffee. I'd say that's worth it.